Hi, soul being absolutely beautiful every time. Welcome to the mothership or mod, her ship, whatever you want to call it. I'm your host, Sweet Venus. So I wanted to talk to you today about that gap that you're feeling, right? You're an overachiever, you're going for everything that society, your parents, your teachers, your peers, those people you put on a pedestal have told you to go after so that you can feel something, so you can feel like accomplished, so you can feel happy, right? You've been doing, going after goal setting after everything, and you've been crushing it, but you're still feeling very unfulfilled. You're still feeling like something is missing no matter what, and you've been here. If you're honest with yourself, you've been here for such a long time, for many years. And why is that? It's because that you've been sourcing your happiness from outside of yourself. And of course, we hear about this quote that, happiness is within, happiness is within, but there's a certain formula around that, because it's based on whatever demons that you're not really facing. Because, I mean, who wants to face the demons? Who wants to face the shadows? It's a scary process, especially when you don't know what's going on. So you're not emotionally stable within yourself. You've been sourcing your emotional stability outside of yourself, and change is inevitable, right? Everything outside of yourself is always moving. It's not static. God forbid you could lose your house tomorrow. God forbid the person who you're emotionally codependent with could decide, hey, I don't want this anymore. But when you're not at peace with who you are, when you're not at peace with, if you're to lose all of these things and you'll still be okay, you'll know how to come back and bounce back, right? There's this feeling of, oh my gosh, always being on edge, right? Always anticipating the worst case scenario, always anticipating um, uh, danger. There's never really emotional stability, and I dealt with this for such a long time. Um, I wasn't very emotionally intelligent. My parents weren't emotionally intelligent, and I had to learn the hard way by trial and error. And I know that a lot of you don't want to do this to figure this out um, by yourself. You don't want it to take years, and that's why I created this video to help you with that, to quantum leap from where you are to where you're actually feeling emotional safe and stable. And you want to really be honest with what you're feeling, right? Because when you're not at ease, when you're not at ease with the negative emotions that are coming to you, when you're resisting them, you're working against the process. That's one way you're actually making the journey to emotional stability, to emotional sovereignty, very hard for you. So emotional sovereignty is this knowing how to learn how to no learning um, how to work with whatever emotions, uncomfortable emotions are coming through you, but not allowing them to control you. So there's a technique, there's a gnosis that gets birthed when you become still with what's very present within you. When you become very present and intentional in listening and just being here, right, with yourself. And checking in with your breath, checking in with your body, your meat suit, like, okay, I feel you. Where am I reaching my energy? Where am I crunched up in my energy? Where am I not flowing in my energy? Where am I holding energy? Where am I tense? Where do I hold tension? That's the first process, because you are now um, bringing your energy from your mind back to your body. You want to bring it back into your body, because your body is where it's at. When you're in your mind, you're investing into more illusions. You're investing into stories that haven't even happened yet. You're investing into narratives um, that will disempower you, that are not helping you to stay present. And being present is what will help you to to align with the best opportunity for you based on the information you've gathered. So yes, everything that you're feeling, it's not bad. It's information that you've gathered from wherever you are and wherever you've been. And the stillness will help you to really understand what this information is doing for you. Because you're thinking, we've been trained to believe that happiness, joy, fulfillment, success is in the future, always, always, always in the future. So we're always working towards something we'll never reach, right? And now you're at a point where you're like, okay, I've put in so much time and I still feel like I have all these things, but I still feel like I need to go for more, 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 more. It's a trap, right? So you want to pivot that energy within yourself and to create an inner world that actually you are excited to wake up into every day. Because your inner world is empty. Your inner world is not, you have been watering your external world instead of watering your inner world. So that's where that unfulfillment is coming from. It's coming from the fact that you're not really honest with the fact that you don't like yourself. You don't really, this is your most authentic self, you're rejecting. She or he is not enough. She or he is not good enough. And you're doing all this stuff to compensate for that feeling. And you, deep down, you believe that happiness is outside of you because you're really unhappy. So you want to really look at the reason why you're unhappy, why you are unfulfilled. Because fulfillment happens in each moment. It's either or not you're in alignment with that fulfillment. And the fact that you're not in alignment with your fulfillment, there's a narrative that you're living life from. And we want to pinpoint what that narrative is. And you won't find that narrative if you're just doing, if you're just distracting yourself, if you just, like, as soon as you feel uncomfortable, you go for that thing, right? To distract you, to numb, whatever you know what you do. Maybe listen, have that codependent relationship with that toxic person so that you're not facing the discomfort of being you, of you not fitting into that big puzzle of what it means to be successful, of what it means to be that girl, that guy in society, in your peer group, in your country, in your family, whatever the narrative that you're tapping into. So you wanted to be very clear on what that story is, because that's when you start unwinding everything. And it's easy for you to look for other people to tell you, like, hey, you'll be fulfilled when you have babies. You'll be fulfilled when you get more money. You'll be fulfilled when you get that guy. You'll be fulfilled when you get that car. You'll be fulfilled when you get that job. But you've been doing that for a long time. And in the beginning, it's the thrill of getting that thing, and then it subsides, and then the thrill, the hormones come down, right, of newness, and then you're again back to reality, to facing yourself. So you want to be really honest with what you're doing to avoid facing yourself within, what you're doing to avoid to pivot your energy from the external world within. It's about connecting to your spiritual body, because when you're living from your ego, from your mind, from the conditioning you've been given, that has been handed to you, you're not really living your fullest potential. And that's where that fulfillment comes in. It comes in living beyond what you've been given, expanding beyond the limitations that were given to you. And it's never going to make sense. It's never going to look the way you think it's going to look. Because, I mean, if everything played out exactly the way you wanted it to, would life be really interesting? Would it be an adventure? Life would be so boring because you'd know everything that was going to happen. So of course that's not what you want. What you really want is this feeling of safety whilst you're in the unknown, as you go where your soul is leaning you towards. Your soul, if you listen and you're still, your soul is whispering to you like, hey, come over here, over here. But you're distracting yourself from listening because it scares you. It's scary to leave all of this behind, to leave your comfort zone, to actually step in the fire of transformation to become this highest potential, to live from your highest potential. Because if the true leadership is not about doing what everybody's doing, it's not about copying and pasting the path that's been given for us. It's about trailblazing your own path by listening to your soul, because your soul does it best. Your soul knows the next step, knows each and every single step you take in each moment, and doing it well and falling and making that process, that process of falling, of getting up, of crying, all those negative emotions, let it be part of the script. Don't resist it. But it's not about becoming the emotions. It's about allowing yourself to experience the emotions, to let them. Just imagine when Mother Earth, when those waves in the ocean, in the river, they go up and down, they go do their thing. She's not the water, but the water is sitting on her. And that's the same way I want you to think of your emotions. Your emotions are sitting here in your heart, right? And they're expressing what is true within you. Your thoughts, I want you to think of your thoughts like clouds in the sky. Your clouds come in and they create a thunder, they create dark clouds, they create a little peekaboo for the sun, for your focus, they distract you a little bit. The clouds that just describe, your sun is your focus, right? Your awareness. And you're like, they come here and you're like, oh, peekaboo, peekaboo. They're always doing its thing. But are you gonna become the clouds, or are you just gonna let them keep doing their thing and just watching like, oh, okay. This thing that I'm describing, it comes from being comfortable with my center, being comfortable with my stillness, being comfortable with just being. Because of course with the conditioning, it's all about, oh my gosh, I'm not enough. Like, oh, I don't have this, focusing on everything that's wrong about you, everything that's missing right now, that's not fitting into the description of who you're supposed to be successful, to be fulfilled according to them. And completely disconnecting from your inner truth, from your inner guidance system. I'm just gonna look at my notes here. Yeah, so it's all about experiencing emotional inconsistency. Which means that you don't have a routine that pours into you, that doesn't help you stabilize your emotions. And this is something I'll be teaching you in the happiness formula. Because there's a formula to everything. But all these formulas that you have, like everybody's always trying to sell you like, this is how you get money, or this is how you get the man, whatever. There's a formula to it. But the formula is not what's working particularly for her. We all have different belief systems. We all have different assumptions. We all have different perspectives. We all have different conditionings. So that formula has to be personalized to you. It has to be personalized to your own perspective of life. I can't base it off my own. So you really want to bring that energy within you so you can start really noticing the information that you've collected since you came into this portal on Earth, right? You came out of your mom into this world with nothing, with no sense of, with no identity outside of your soul's pure awareness. And then they gave you what to become. So I want you to look beyond that. Because you came here with nothing, you're going to leave with nothing. So if you don't have this relationship with yourself, this relationship with life and death, you're always going to be fighting the cycles of life and death happening through your mind and through your emotions. So you want to create a toolkit that supports these flows of energy through your mind and through your heart, right? So that your heart can start communicating to your mind, right? So when you're unfulfilled, it's because you're not tapping into your high heart. And high heart is the lighter emotions: fulfillment, joy, love, peace. Think of all the positive emotions that you're really truly craving. And when you're feeling like you're not genuinely experiencing those, it's because there's still things in your low heart. Your low heart is those negative emotions you're experiencing. It's because you haven't finished the cycle of that negative emotion, right? There's a story, a narrative that you're still living from 10 years ago that you haven't really let go. And you're living from that assumption because you internalize. As kids, we internalize everything because we're just like, okay, how do I survive? I gotta survive. Especially if you grew up in an emotionally unstable household, you're sourcing your sense of self based on, you trained yourself to like really to tune in to other people's moods so that you could people please, so you could create a persona so that you could hone in and ensure your emotional safety, ensure that you didn't die. So we need to really cut through those stories you stored inside and you haven't completed, so that you can rise to your high heart. And from your high heart, that's where your soul clearly communicates to you. You know the next thing to do, because you want to be responding to the present moment. The present moment is always showing you like, hey, this is where you are at. And how you choose to take in that information within yourself, what you choose to do with it externally, is all up to you. And this is why we say happiness is an inside job. Because if you're not happy with where you're at, you're not at peace, at ease with where you're at right now, you're never gonna be. You gotta come within and sit on your God-given throne and take care of business. And this is what I'll be helping you with for 4 weeks. It's coming in a couple of weeks, the happiness formula. So you can email me. Information is below. My email is below this video. Hi, sreevenus@gmail.com. And can you please put the happiness formula title in there so that it doesn't get lost in there, and you can get on the waiting list. And I want it to be just very intimate. So if you want to get into this first cycle, do it as fast as you can. Because I haven't even decided how many people I'm going to let in there. But I hope this helped. Because yeah, I was unhappy and miserable for such a long time. I was unfulfilled. But having this knowledge of how to pivot from your external world into your inner world, and holding space for all that ugliness, for all that yucky stuff you don't really enjoy, you don't want other people to know about, how to hold it with grace and how to bounce back like that. And it's in realizing that you're not living for other people, you're living for you. So we want to really dive into these stories, into these narratives, why you're putting other people on a pedestal, why you're living for other people. because there's gold there, there's something there. Your existence is not a mistake. And this is what we do on the mothership. So I gotta bounce. I hope this helps. Otherwise, see you on the other side.